So we have Mars on the move. Now, what is this going to mean to us?
Mars is the planet of ego-oriented projection. It's the thing that we associate with our id kind of a thing. It's where we project our ego out into the world, and it rules any kind of activity, physical activity, rather than mental activity. Well, normally it stays in a sign for 6 weeks, and you get fired up about a project, you put about 6 weeks into it, and then you kind of go on to the next thing. Ordinarily, it does that for 6 weeks, but every 22 months or so it stops, much like the planet Mercury, and it goes retrograde. It moves backwards for 2 months. So instead of being in a sign for 6 weeks, it is in a sign for almost 4 months. So between May and October is how long Mars is going to be in Aquarius. And during the and everybody can look in their lives 22 months ago and see similar things happening now that were happening then. And especially if you think that you were done with something then, with Mars retrograde, it kind of comes back and says, are you sure? Did you really do the right thing here? If you kind of put a half stopgap measure on something, then you find out how that didn't work. It's the kind of thing where if you patch a dam, and then 22 months later, that patch breaks and everybody drowns. So, depending on where it is in your chart, depends on what it does to you. So for Taurus, is the sign that we're in. Mars is in their 10th house of career and public standing, and it squares their sun sign. So I'm afraid for someone like Pat, it's another job. Not like she doesn't have enough jobs already, but there's yet another job headed her way that will evolve over the next 6 months or so. And she's going to have to be able to kind of put other things on hold to handle that. So, and it's a professional thing, not a personal thing. It's not a health thing. It's just some kind of professional thing. I guess Christmas wish or, something along those lines. Just more of a job for her.
Okay.
For Geminis, our beleaguered president, Mars is in their 9th house. This is going to be a 4 or 5 month transit of their 9th house of the law. Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance, matters of ultimate importance are going to be in the spotlight for the next 4 months or so. My guess is that over the next month or two, as it's going direct, he finds out what exactly the charges are against him. And then during the 2 months after that, he kind of puts together a defense, but the outcome won't be known until the October-November time span. For Cancers, they are fixing to spend a boatload of money. Mars is in their 8th house of other people's resources, and it's the kind of thing where money comes in and it kind of goes right out. And they may, sometimes it takes money to make money, and so it may be one of those things, but they have to really be careful financially and know exactly what they're getting into before they do anything. For Leos, it's going to be opposing their sign. And Leos are going to try very, very hard to assert their dominance one way or the other, and they're going to find that there are going to be challenges to people that don't like them asserting their dominance. I suspect it means they do very well, and it engenders jealousy from other people. And Leos have to be really careful who sucks up to them and who doesn't. Because they'll find out over the next 6 months who really are their friends and allies and who aren't. For Virgos, it's in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibilities. And Virgos are going to be dealing with some kind of health matter. It's going to take a while to resolve. They're going to have to get at least two opinions about it, and probably not decide what to really do until the October-November time span. That and upheaval and change where they work. And they just need to let all that change go on around them and not take sides either.
Lay low.
Yeah, it's the best thing. Keep your head down, stay out of the line of fire. For Libras, it is going to be, this is an interesting place for them. For them, it's going to be in the 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, entertainment, amusements, pleasures. It's a very fun time to take up a new hobby, to take up a new sport, to learn something fun, or to art. Whatever it is that allows your creativity out is what Libra is going to do. And if they're single, they'll probably attract somebody new and start a new intimate romantic relationship, which is fun to look forward to. For Scorpios, this is rough energy for Scorpios. Hillary Clinton is going to find out. It is in their 4th house of home. There's upheaval and change going on at home, and there's not much they can do about it except try to ameliorate the negative impact on them. Something is leaving their life, and the harder they try to hold on to it, the more painful it's going to be to let it go. So it's kind of like a refurbishment at a deep soul level. For Sagittarians, 3rd house of day-to-day living. And I mean, the pace of their day-to-day living is about to pick up to warp speed. So they have to really be careful not to backtrack and not to agree to do more things than you can possibly do in a given time span. For Capricorns, it's in their 2nd house of money, and they're fixing to spend a boatload of money. But also, in the course of spending money, they find a way to make more money. So if Capricorns are looking for a job change or a job improvement, or realizing that they need to get more money, this is the next 6 months when they're going to go ahead and do that. For Aquarians, this is in their sign, and they're going to be the Robert Conrads of the Zodiac, the go ahead, knock this off my shoulder kind of a thing. And In the United States, our moon sign is Aquarius, and I think the woman revolution is going to continue, which I don't think is a bad thing, and I think that there are a lot of freedoms involved, and women are just not going to put up with that anymore. And it's not just here in the United States, it's a global kind of thing.
And that's very true, and they should not
I agree.
put up with it.
I absolutely agree. If you don't like something, change it, especially if it's going to impact you, and it always does.
Yeah.
So for Pisces, they have to be really careful. It's in their 12th house of their own undoing. They have to be careful not to shoot themselves in the foot. This has been a very good year for Pisces. They've made a lot of great strides. They have expanded their useful knowledge of the world. They have a better influence, and they just have to be careful to realize that not everybody who smiles at you is your friend. For Aries, the last sign, hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And they get, again, very, very close to a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective that requires their personal effort to do it and the help of their male friends. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with Mars going into Aquarius this week.
Oh, we'll see how that works. Thanks. We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.